Alright, hello everybody. Friendly Red here, back with another round of initial impressions. This week, we've got the exact opposite situation compared to last week's discussion, with a game exiting early access and blooming into its full 1.0 version, that being Ender Magnolia, Bloom in the Mist, sequel to 2021's Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights. I actually just played through that original game in preparation for the sequel here, and it was a hauntingly beautiful experience. Ender Lilies combines some absolutely stellar art, music, and gameplay to make for one of the best 2D action games / Metroidvanias I've played in quite a bit. Probably the best since last year's Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. It's quickly become a favorite of mine, and sits right alongside some of the absolute best of the best in the genre, like Hollow Knight, Metroid Dread, Nine Souls, the Ori games, and more. Of course, it wasn't perfect, and there were a handful of issues and annoyances that could easily be rectified in a sequel, which brings us to today. I'm happy to report that, from what I've played of it so far, Ender Magnolia does just that, while refining and maintaining everything that made the original great, to deliver yet another slam dunk from developer Binary Haze Interactive. As always, an overview should prove useful, so let's get into it. Ender Magnolia, Bloom in the Mist is a 2D Metroidvania game that takes place decades after the events of the original game, Ender Lilies. This time around, you'll be taking control of Lilac, a young tuner who's lost most of her memories. I say most, as she retains at least one memory of a woman speaking to her, and finding out who she is and her connection to Lilac serves as a big motivator for our new adventuring tuner here. The game combines 2D and 3D elements to make up its world, with a great, painterly-like aesthetic to it all, much like the original. Unlike the more fantasy kingdom world and environments of Ender Lilies, Ender Magnolia has a focus on time-worn, industrial environments and locales to explore, which I think serves as a nice change of pace, and helps emphasize the passage of time that's occurred since the first game. Of course, another big reason for the more industrial and complex environments is due to the homunculi in the game. The homunculi are artificial life forms created by humanity to help in the development of modern civilization, and were used to carry out tasks that could have potentially been too dangerous or strenuous for humans. However, they were driven mad over time due to toxic fumes that rose from underground, and now roam the lands they once helped create, terrorizing anyone who dares get too close. This is where tuners, and the protagonist Lilac, come into play. Tuners are capable of utilizing the powers and unique abilities of homunculi. Lilac in particular is able to turn mad homunculi back to their senses due to a strange power she possesses, allowing her to reclaim some powerful abilities and individuals thought lost to time. With all this in mind, you'll set out as Lilac across the world of Ender Magnolia, traversing multiple different locales in search of answers as to who you are, what happened to the kingdom around you, and who the mysterious woman in your memories is, and how she plays a part in all of this. In typical Metroidvania fare, you'll explore a vast, interconnected world, overcoming platforming challenges, fighting enemies in the form of maddened homunculi, uncovering secrets, gaining new powers and movement abilities to access previously blocked off sections of the map, and facing off against powerful bosses, complete with epic boss themes and different phases to accompany them, akin to a Souls-like. Going more into specific gameplay details, Ender Magnolia does stay largely true to the original game, but with some smart changes and adjustments that, even in the early hours, make it a far better feeling and better playing game than that original title. As you find and recruit more homunculi to your cause, you'll be able to utilize their powers to your liking, picking and choosing which best fit your preferred playstyle, much like how the spirits operated in Ender Lilies. Unlike Ender Lilies, the upgrading of these powers goes much further. As in Ender Magnolia, each homunculi you find can actually utilize multiple different powers, which can be unlocked and used to your discretion. It's really cool to see all the different abilities a single homunculi is possible of performing, and I think it's great for players that may enjoy the look or character of a specific homunculi, but may not like their default power. It gives them the opportunity to still use that homunculi, while also fitting better into their preferred playstyle, and it's overall a great change in addition to the pick your playstyle setup the original game introduced. I've mentioned it before, but there were some smaller annoyances that stood out to me during my time with Ender Lilies, and thankfully a lot of them were addressed here in Ender Magnolia, and quite quickly too. What I mean by that is, even early on in the game, the improvements can be seen and felt, and it's made the already enjoyable experience you would find in Ender Lilies that much more enjoyable in the sequel here. Firstly, the map in Ender Magnolia is much more detailed, showing you a proper layout of the current section you're in, complete with accurate tracking of your character and areas you can traverse. Having a good map system is crucial in a game all about exploring and backtracking. Thankfully, the developers have spent the time to really nail down this aspect. It may not seem like a big deal, but I can assure you that it's already made for a world of difference when it comes to getting around the world and looking around for secrets, as well as helping me know where I should go next, or go back to for more exploration. In a similar vein, the fast travel system has been improved, allowing you to fast travel to any rest point on the map, regardless of where you are. In the original game, you were required to already be at a rest point to initiate fast travel, but here in Ender Magnolia, you can do it from anywhere, anytime. Perhaps not as big of a deal as the overall map improvements, but it's an appreciated change, and the time it saves you will certainly add up over the course of the playthrough. Secondly, and lastly really, the overall movement, flow of combat and rate at which you improve your traversal mechanics feels much more brisk and thus enjoyable. The combat feels a bit faster and snappier, which combined with the aforementioned changes to the upgrades and abilities, makes for a better time. Additionally, you gain some of the more advanced movement abilities much earlier here than in the original, which means more of the world is open to you at the start, and getting around doesn't feel as slow as it sometimes was in Ender Lilies. For context, in the 3 hours I've played thus far of Ender Magnolia, I already have access to double jumps, diving, dashing, and ground slams. In comparison, it would have probably been almost double that time in Ender Lilies to gain access to most of those techniques. Obviously, you can't begin with all the different powers and abilities from the start, but I think the developers made a smart choice here in dealing out more of them in the early game, and it's helped contribute to a better and faster feeling game, which is something you'd want for a sequel. Safe to say, any of the smaller problems I had with Ender Lilies have been worked out here in Ender Magnolia, and much like that game, this one here is quickly becoming another favorite of mine in the genre. Binary Haze has done a phenomenal job improving upon what they started back in 2021, keeping what everyone loved and worked so well back then, while smartly tuning, changing, and adjusting what may not have worked so well for their first go. The art and overall style remains gorgeous, with that hauntingly beautiful remark regarding Ender Lilies remaining true for Ender Magnolia. And, of course, I have to give mention to the music, once again spearheaded by Mealy. Their work done on the original really helped it stand out, while also just fitting the game like a glove. And safe to say that this rings true this time around as well. There's lots of other aspects of the game that deserve praise as well, like the expanded dialogue and characterization, particularly in the conversations you can hold with your gathered homunculi, or the removal of contact damage, where simply touching an enemy would have caused you to take damage. I could go on and on really, but I think you get the idea. Ender Magnolia, Bloom in the Mist is a stunning work of art, and a confident and masterfully made Metroidvania, one that deserves to be played by anyone who enjoys the genre. I've greatly enjoyed what I've played of it so far, and I look forward to whatever else it has in store for me over the course of the adventure. I highly recommend both it and its predecessor. You certainly don't have to have played the original game to enjoy the sequel, but hey, why not play 2 amazing games rather than just one? Oh, I almost forgot to mention something important, something so monumental and game-changing that really elevates this game, and any others that include it, far above other titles. You can pet the dog. Anyways, with all that being said, I think that'll do it for this video. If you made it to the end, I thank you for watching. Your continued viewership and support is greatly appreciated. Hope I was able to entertain and inform, and hopefully convince you to check out some truly lovely video games here. I really don't think you'll be disappointed if you decide to do so. And last, but certainly not least, as always, I'll see you next time.